97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock.
Hello, this is Michael Spedden, and thanks for joining us today on the 97underground.com Michael Spedden Interviews channel here on YouTube. There have been many requests from both listeners and guests for us to make available our artist interviews so they can listen again or share with others. You can find us on YouTube at 97underground Michael Spedden. Remember, the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Not only do I feature artist interviews, I feature songs you forgot you liked, classics that never die, beloved local, regional, up-and-coming, and underground artists. You can listen anytime, anywhere by downloading our free app from 97underground.com. Just do it. And now, today's episode. And welcome to another episode of the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com. And today we have an interview with Gina Alicya from Nightwind, a band out of Northern Virginia we met not too long ago. Their Facebook page, their social media is facebook.com/NightwindBand. And we had a great time talking about their material, some stories about clubs that they've played in, and all kinds of great things. As I mentioned, we met them at Morseburgers at a 97 Underground show not too long ago, and I really had an enjoyable interview with her. Remember, the Back of the Rack is on every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m., Sundays from 3 to 5 p.m. You can find us here on YouTube, 97 Underground Michael Spedden. On YouTube, it's at 97 Underground Michael Spedden, where we archive all of my interviews with people. So, folks, enjoy this episode. We will see you soon. And download the free app. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Today, we have lead vocalist Gina Alicya from Nightwind out of Northern Virginia, here to talk to us today about her band. We're going to hear some of her music, and I'm really looking forward to this. I met Nightwind a few weeks ago back at Morseburgers Tavern. We had a show there that 97 Underground was broadcasting from. Had a pleasure of meeting Nightwind and getting in contact with Gina. So, Gina, welcome to the show. It's great to have you today.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Mike, for having me today.
Looking at your bio, I've listened to a bunch of your music. How long has Nightwind been around?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about Nightwind 1.0, as I like to affectionately call it, that happened many years ago.
Okay.
With me and my former music partner,
sure,
Jerry Moore. And we kind of parted ways after we gave it a few years there. And I went on to my professional career. Then I decided the last couple of years ago to revive it. And now I call it Nightwind 2.0.
2.0, of course, keeping with the times and everything, all the different versions instead of years ago with like Deep Purple, whenever they would change lineups, it was always called Mach 1, Mach 2. Now we're in digital age, I guess, and now it's 1.0 and 2.0, huh?
I guess so.
So originally, you moved to this area from New York City. You were born there. Were you into music while you were living up there, or was that something that you started when you moved out?
I moved out. I was pretty young. I was a kid when I moved. My family and I moved from New York City, and we moved to rural Virginia. And then as soon as I was old enough, for many reasons, I moved to the DC area. So I've been living in Northern Virginia ever since.
DC's always had a great club scene, a lot of support for live music too.
I feel like it's changed over the years too.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And so a lot of the clubs that used to be are no longer, and that's so it's kind of a new reemergence of different new clubs and new bands, and some bands you might find have been around for a long time. Surreal, that's a great cover band. And some bands are kind of the staple in the area. There's all kinds of new ones emerging.
So when did this start for you, getting into playing and singing?
Well, I'll tell you, it started when I was writing songs when I was actually a child.
Okay.
So I think I wrote my first song at like 9 years old.
Okay. Yeah, and, a lot of people have.
Didn't play any instruments then, so I would, imagine it to be, all the lyrics were removed off of like one of the songs that I really liked, and then I reimagined them with my own lyrics in there.
Sure.
So that's what you do when you're 9 and you're not, involved in any way, shape, or form other than music has been in my life. All kinds of music. I love the various genres, but rock and roll is kind of where my heart is. And so it's kind of started there. And by the time I was a teenager, I'm like, yeah, I think I would like to be a singer, later in life or whenever I can. And then, I left the home, left the nest, and ventured out on my own and kind of got into some other things that I wanted to do. Then revisited music. I met a couple of people that were really interested in it. And then I met my former music partner, and he just kind of took a shot on me. And he was kind of a mentor for me because he had been in the scene since a long time, probably teenager at least. And he still is. So, he's been around a long time.
Who inspired you when it comes to music? Was there anybody that you listened to that you wanted to possibly emulate or inspired you to want to get into this?
Wow, that's a good question, because I've kind of been inspired by music for most of my life. But I'll tell you, Ann Wilson was my queen. Ann Wilson from Heart. I love Chris Cornell. I mean, he's just the best. And of course, who can forget Robert Plant? I mean, he's everybody's, go-to and icon, or many people, I should say that, just in case, whoever's listening. But yeah, he's just like the king. Chris Cornell, Ann Wilson, of course. I mean, yeah, there hasn't been, as you know, a lot of women in the rock and roll world. And certainly Ann and Nancy were by far the first ones. I feel like they're the OGs of the rock music. And of course then Stevie Nicks, and I'm not talking about the folk singers.
Sure. Right.
Rock and ladies.
Right. Heavy rock with
rock,
women fronted. Yeah, absolutely. Good inspirations there. I got to tell you, I think you have good taste. Great taste. Why don't we spin one of your songs? Which one would you like to share with us first today?
Well, I don't know. Take your pick. It's kind of like picking your favorite child. I have children, but my songs are my children. So I love them all, but some of them are catchier than others, of course. And Black Widow kind of hits you really hard from the get-go. Hear No Evil, you kind of ease into that. So do your listeners want to ease into it, or do they want to get hit hard?
Well, why don't we ease into it? Now, let's spin Hear No Evil.
Beware
You've been in the DC area, from the time you were a child, your adult life, and you had mentioned some clubs. Was there any places in the area that you really enjoyed performing, or were there any that were special for you?
Well, I guess when I was originally starting out with Nightwind, the Northern Virginia staples were kind of Jack's or Zach's or whatever it is now. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Nick's was one of them. Of course, the Bayou, that was the greatest. And, those were the nicer, the bigger clubs, that felt like you were really putting on a show.
Right.
The little smaller clubs, but those were the venues that I really liked.
Oh, they're great venues.
Sully's back in Chantilly, Virginia. Of course, this is Northern Virginia mostly. Yeah, those were some great clubs, and I'm not even sure who's open anymore or who's named 5 different times. Or
isn't it the truth?
Can't keep track now. There's so many new clubs coming up now.
Oh, you're right. You're right about that. And so many of them that they close and they come back as something else. And you'll look somewhere, you'll hear about somebody playing somewhere, you'll see it on Facebook or something. You're like, what the heck is this place? I've never heard of it before. And then you're like, oh, that's what it was, right?
5 names ago.
Exactly, 5 names ago. And then sadly, sometimes you're out driving around and you can look off to the side of the road and you can say, I used to play in that CVS, or I used to,
And of course, Hammerjacks was the big one. That's closed now. I don't even know. I think it's still in Hammerjacks, and somebody told me it was something different now.
Right.
So that's like the Baltimore go-to, Hammerjacks. I mean, it's iconic.
That was. It really was. It closed, and it had come back in a couple of different incarnations since then, but didn't really stay open very long.
But Jam and Java is now the place to be, in Northern Virginia. That's a really great club that I like to play at. So there's a few that have up and coming now since, in the last decade or so. So I really like it there. I like their message too. The brothers, I think there's owners that are brothers, I believe. They've got a really good message. I like it.
Did you ever play anywhere like the Paragon in College Park?
No, I've heard of it, but that
was
probably before maybe I was
probably, yeah.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I was just curious because a lot of folks that are from your area had played there in the past, and I played there too. We used to go down from Baltimore, and that was a great club. That was in College Park near University of Maryland. But there were always, I don't know if you had noticed this or not. Had you played Baltimore much?
Not much. I'm playing it more now than
you did then.
Yeah, Zen West. We just played a show just 2 nights ago. It's Saturday night at Zen West, and of course, Morseburgers, where I met you guys. Trixter, which was awesome. Played there a couple of times. So I'm kind of making the rounds in the Maryland area, and I'm really trying to branch out of the area as well.
Yeah, it looks like you've been opening for some national acts too, but it looks like you performed open for Rick Wakeman. How was that?
That was one of my best shows. I mean, he dominated the stage with his awards, but this is, of course, after his heyday with
right.
Yes, of course. And when he went out on his own, I guess they might be back together now, as many of the bands from long ago seem to be reuniting and going out on tour again. But that was a great show. There was a line down the block for us. So yeah, loved opening for Rick Wakeman from Yes.
I've seen him before, solo. I've seen him with Anderson, Wakeman, Bruford, and Howe. Yeah, that was definitely a good show. And it looks like it says here you've performed with Lynn Turner.
Yeah.
How was that?
Deep Purple Rainbow, I think it was.
Yep. Ingve Malmsteen. Yep.
Don't tell anybody. That was a great show too. That was a really good show, and I think he's out touring now, on his own, I believe.
Yep.
Or recently, I should say. But yeah, that was amazing. I've been very fortunate, really, to have the opportunity to open for some national acts, and I want to continue to do so until hopefully I become the national act.
Right, exactly.
And until then, it's next best thing, I guess, right?
Well, it's great to get out there because you get the experience of meeting these folks, you get the experience of making the contacts, Absolutely. And performing in front of their crowd, if they're drawing a crowd, they get to see you too. I mean, so there's nothing to lose by doing that.
Right, absolutely not. You know,
Yep.
you get some of their crowd and it just exposes you even more so. So that's been great for us. And more recently, obviously we opened for Trixter.
Yep.
What, two months ago, or actually last month.
Right. Yeah. I remember. Well, they were nice guys too.
They were so nice. And then more recently too has been Molly Hatchet.
Oh, how was that?
Did that about a couple years ago. Great. Sorry to say, I didn't know who they were as far as, I mean, I heard of them and I didn't know the musicians in the band because I turned up quite a bit. The drummer came up to me and introduced himself and I didn't know Sean Beamer.
Right. Well, yeah, that happens sometimes too.
It's just nice. You know, there were a few bands that day and we were one of them and he just walked up to me and introduced himself and like, oh, that was so cool. You know, they're so nice. I mean, hey, they're people too, you know.
Exactly.
We all started out at the same place. So
where did you play with them? Did you I'm sorry.
I played in Delaware at an outdoor festival.
Oh, great.
Yeah, there's, you know, festivals on festivals in the summer. So we were fortunate again to play with them and another up and coming artist who was featured in Rolling Stone, Zeke Skyy. So semi-national, national, I guess he's considered national, but yeah, I saw him on the cover, Rolling Stone. So
on the cover of the Rolling Stone, right?
That was really cool. They're all so nice, really nice guys.
It's good to have good experiences when you're opening for somebody. Let's play another one of your songs here. You sent me another one called Black Widow, and this is the one that's going to hit us hard here, right? Okay. So tell us just briefly about this one here, and we'll go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Black widows are usually ladies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you gentlemen have come across in your life, especially if you're a musician, you've probably come across a few of those type of ladies.
Mm-hmm. Right. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, so here it is. This is Black Widow.
Ready to strike, her shades dark, I'm not
It's been a pleasure having you here on 97 Underground. It was, great to meet and hear your band the other week. And, guys, folks, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and germs, whatever you want to call yourselves, Nightwind is well worth going out to see. How can we find out all about Nightwind? This is the time for you to go ahead and give us your plugs and tell us where we can find you.
Right. Well, you can hit our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/NightwindBand. I'm about to release our website and getting on Instagram, of course, because you have to. We're playing, I think the next shows, we're taking a little bit of break and regrouping because we've been kind of hitting it hard lately. But we just had a show 2 days ago, as I mentioned, at Zen West. But I think we're going to be back at Moore's Burgers on August 16th, I believe.
Okay.
And check your schedules and check our Facebook page to confirm that. And we're playing a music festival north of Baltimore in August. I think it's the 17th.
Okay.
So, and check out the Facebook. Stay tuned for some advertisement on that. Then we've got a bunch of stuff coming up in September as well. You know where to look and find all of your listings where you're going to be. We've got some September dates coming up too. Atlas Brew Works, I believe, is one of them, and a few things. We're doing the DC Schwartz Film Festival. It's an international film festival. We're going to be playing that. I'm not sure. Location to be determined. Last year it was at the Metro Bar. In September, we played there last year as well. So it's supporting the DC Schwartz International Film Festival. Oh, okay. Great. Well, all best of luck to you folks. Get out and see Nightwind. They're definitely well worth seeing. They're a lot of fun, a great band. They sound great, lots of good material. And thank you all for listening, folks. You've been listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. And Gina, thank you very much again for being with us today. Thank you so much. Thank you all. And we'll be back right after these words. And thanks again for listening to 97 Underground, the Michael Spedden Interviews, and we hope you enjoyed today's show. Remember, download the free app from 97underground.com so you can listen to us wherever you go. The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show, can be heard on 97underground.com every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Listen anytime, anywhere. Metal. Worldwide metal, 24/7. 97 Underground.